ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣೇಶಾಯ ನಮಃ. ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಸರಸ್ವತ್ಯೈ ನಮಃ. ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ಓಂ ಸಮಸ್ತಜನಕಲ್ಯಾಣೇ ನಿರತಂ ಕರುಣಾಮಯಂ ನಮಾಮಿ ಚಿನ್ಮಯಂ ದೇವಂ ಸದ್ಗುರುಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರಂ ಸದ್ಗುರುಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ವರಂ. ಓಂ ಸದಾಶಿವಸಮಾರಂಭಾಂ ಶಂಕರ ವಂದೇ ಗುರುಪರಂಪರಾಂ ವಂದೇ ಗುರುಪರಂಪರಾಂ. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ಶ್ರೀರಮಣಾಯ. ಸಿ ಸಂಶಯ ವಿಪರ್ಯಯ. ವಿಪರ್ಯಯ, ಸಂಶಯ is doubt, is removed by mananam. So what is Shravanam? Its purpose is Ajnana Nasha, not primary avidya, but related to subject, what it is. We'll give you the Shastra Parichayam, why we have to study, etc., etc. Mananam, Samshaya Nivritti. So first Jnanam is heard through Mananam, Samshaya Nivritti. Ajnana Nasha, Samshaya Nivritti. Nididhyasana is Viparyaya Bhava Nashaha. Contrary knowledge or contrary perception or contrary experience is destroyed by Nididhyasanam. Now, so what is Nididhyasanam? We saw. And very clearly said, Viparyasena rahitam samshayena cha yadyapi shastriyam aikya vijnanam kevalam na anubhutaye. In the 9th verse. Mere Shastra Jnanam will not remove totally Samshaya and Viparyaya Bhava, doubt and contrary perception are not removed by merely studying the scriptures and gaining conviction in the buddhi. Shastriyam Aikya Vijnanam. That so kevalam shastriyam aikya vijnanam anubhutaye na bhavati iti yojana. Kevalam, only shastra, you understood. Oh, very clear. Concept is clear. Understood. No doubt. I have no doubt. But you are not awakened. See, I will tell you one important point. There are many people, many teachers of Vedanta or see when you hold a Siddhanta and get stuck up with it and refuse to accept the higher thoughts, higher details of one's own, whatever it is, higher yatra, higher perceptions or experience. Any word if I use the problem, so I'm just something higher. Then you get stuck up there only. You will not further progress. So I'm not giving details how people can get stuck up, but I can see it. So if you make your mind rigid and refuse to open up for the or to the further growth, like for example, many acharyas, many people, many acharyas means many seekers, they get stuck up and get a false joy that I am very clear. Now I have understood. Nothing needs to be done. I am Brahman. That's it. Anubhuti doesn't take place. If you have got that conviction, then what is the difference between you and other Mahatmas, like Ramana Maharshi? Then they talk again another logic, another thing. That is Prarabdha Vashat. So you always get stuck up only in this thought chakra. I've seen. How they get stuck up. Ramana Maharshi, Bhagavan says, that conviction which you acquire by studying the scriptures, without the practical experience of who you really are, that cannot be called as nididhyasanam. So for which Ramana Maharshi says in 10th verse, see, when Mahatmas use the anubhuti prakashakam, anubhuti is a word used. It is not that word anubhuti with respect to this self-realization is not like any other experience where the dichotomy or division between the experienced and experiencer is seen very clearly. Therefore, there is a struggle to convey the truth in terms of language. So when I say experience, experience means who is experiencer, what is experienced. So already the three has come there. Three things have come. Triputi has come, triad has come. So this word experience is also, there is no other word to convey. At the same time, this word may not give you the total picture of realization. So it's an internal understanding or an insight. A deep insight you will get. Where words fail to convey the truth. That's why Gurudev used to say sometimes, every time to repeat, very difficult. But sometimes he would say, that is an experience without the experiencer. It is difficult to convey the truth. So here also, anubhuti is the word used. Kevalam shastra aikya vijnanam, shastra ke dwara aikya vijnanam, knowledge of unity or oneness you gained through shastra charcha, shastra chintanam, will not give you experience. Anubhuti. Now, continuing in 10th verse, samshayascha viparyaso nivaryete ubhau api anubhutyaiva vasishtha nashastrashyata kairapi samshayascha viparyaso nivaryete ubhau api anubhutyaiva vasishtha nashastrashyata kairapi. Now, he says, anubhavasya eva sandeha viparyaya nivarakatvam na shastranam iti bhavaha. Shastranam iti bhavaha. See, therefore, only experience of truth will really remove the doubt and contrary perception or experience, not by studying hundreds of scriptures. You may listen, read, study, head bloated with information, knowledge. The very first step on the spiritual path is not realized. The very first step. Think. The first step, at least this physical body, I am not. In Bhagavan Shankaracharya speaks in another text. So therefore, on the gross body, I am not subtle body. Subtle body also, I am not subtle body. So one after one layer has to be transcended. I am not the body is only a thought you are repeating. When we fall sick, where is the thought? I am the body, I am not the body. Is it helpful to you? Terrible pain, I am not the body. Can you rest in peace? Declutch the mind from body and rest in peace. Impossible. So therefore, Ramana Maharshi could say with such a huge wound, somebody asked, there is something in my consciousness, something small, prick-like feeling, yes, something is there. Like a small ant crawling, not even biting. Something, somewhere. An ordinary man gets such kind of a wound, he cannot tolerate the pain. He will pray to God, let me die. So, my question we have to question, are we cheating ourselves? And ego is expert in consoling you or in convincing you that you have reached the state, nothing to achieve. Very अच्छा लगता है. Nothing to achieve, nowhere to go. बहुत बढ़िया है. Nowhere to go, nothing to achieve. सुनने के लिए मजा आएगा. It's all nothing other than experience. ये सब बकवास है. Therefore, अनुभूत्या एव निवार्येते, both samshaya and viparya, doubt and contrary knowledge. These two. Na shastra shatakairapi. Hundreds of shastras you study, it won't be of no use. And it won't be, you may die with a false contentment. मैंने ज्ञान प्राप्त किया, हा हा हा, मर गए. मरने के बाद everything is collapsed. Next life, nothing, no memory. So what are we, our ego? What is it that we are banking upon? So whole life we live, I am Pandita, I am this, I am that. It's a Mahamaya it is. Why that dementia you get, what will happen to your knowledge? You can't recognize your own people. The one great Mahatma, Grahastha, even Pithadipatis also have blessed him because he wrote more than 250 books, impossible for a person in a lifetime. And all Shastra, Brahma Sutras, you name it, excellent commentaries he wrote. And Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, Advaita Khandanam, Vishishtadvaita Khandanam. And critical analysis of commentaries of Ramanujacharya. Oh God, so much of a great and very humble man. I've been wanting to meet him, but I could not meet. But I met him. When he almost lost his memory, nothing is left. He became a child like, nothing he remembers. A great author he was. First time I met him, but he's, अच्छा, ठीक है, बहुत बढ़िया है, ठीक है. Somebody took me and then, no memory at all. So, what is that you are banking upon? Maya. Unless you experience the truth, unless you awaken, Ramana Maharshi says, your samshaya and viparyaya will never go. Clear. Some commentaries people say, oh, you claim your divinity. Everybody can, but so it's not intellect, no? And they suppose somebody says, knowledge is not intellectual, vijnanam. Experience required. Then the counter is, oh, knowledge itself is intellectual. There is nothing beyond knowledge, nothing mystical about it. If you deny everything, you are closing your doors. So really, So bees don't live in the false. मैंने रामायण पढ़ी, भागवत सुन ली, कोई कोई फर्क पड़ता है क्या, बताओ आपको? Back pain as it is, knee pain as it is, mental pain as it is, sorrow as it is. Why don't you realize that? That this much realization. That's what Hanuman says. And samshaya viparyaya gained through knowledge, through shastra jnanam, will not. You removed doubt, you removed understood through shastra. Bhagavan says it will not stay for you, with you. How? Shastram shraddhavato hanyat samshayancha viparyayam shraddhayaha kinchidunatve punarabhyudayastayoh Shastram shraddhavato hanyat samshayam cha viparyayam shraddhayaha kinchidunatve punarabhyudayastayoh. Now he says, Shraddhavataha purushasya samshayam viparyayam viruddha bodham cha shastram hanyat vipohedeva. See, remember carefully, one who has shraddha, a man or a woman, a person having high shraddha on the Guru and on Shastra, to that person, both samshaya, doubt, viparyasam, viruddha bodham, contrary understanding or knowledge, to such a person, one who is faithful, to the faithful person, Shastra removes the samshaya and viparyaya. Doubt is removed, contrary knowledge or understanding is removed by the Shastra. To whom? To the one who has Shraddha. But Shraddhayaha kinchidunatve punarubhyadayastayoho. If there's a little crack in the Shraddha, again doubt and samshaya viparyaya bhava rises again. Therefore, see, श्रद्धायाः किंचिदूनत्वे थोड़ा कम पड़ गया श्रद्धा में. श्रद्धा येन केनापि निमित्तेन दुर्बला भवेत् चेत्, for whatever reason, if श्रद्धा becomes little weak, पुनः तयोः संशय विपर्ययोः अभ्युदयः उद्भवः भवति एव इति भावः. Again these two rise. That means what? Viparyayam and samshayam, you thought that you have removed them because of your faith on the Guru and Shastra, but they are not really gone. It's a beautiful story also. Somebody used to visit one family, husband, wife. And they used to ask for good food and everything. So they have to make. But how to get rid of this fellow every time he comes, almost every day. So husband, wife made a beautiful thing. When he is coming, we will start fighting and loudly use think there is no rice, no dal, no vegetable, no oil, no salt in the house. What are you talking? We are so much of debts are there. If anybody comes today, we will ask him the debt. We have some money, we will ask him for loan. Like that, they have made a beautiful drama. So as the person was walking, they saw him from a distance. They started talking high. वो अंदर आ गया, सुन रहे थे दोनों का. You know, this kind of such a problematic family. So many problems they have. If I stay there, they ask me. So बाहर गया. जैसे बाहर गया, they were very happy. Then they said, see how I acted. See how I acted. And see, my wife says, I acted as though I am poor. As though the husband said, I also acted as though I don't have money. The fellow came and said, I also went as though I left out. Went out. I never gone. Like that, samshaya and viparyaya, they come back. देखो मैंने कैसे बात किया, मैंने कैसे बात की. उनको लग रहा था कि मैंने सच में हम ऐसे है, और मन को ऐसे भाव पैदा किया उनमें कि मैं भी ऐसे हूँ. तो बोला वो भी, मैं भी आपके मन में ऐसे भाव उत्पन्न किया कि मैं बाहर गया हूँ, वास्तव में भी बाहर नहीं गया हूँ. आप ही झूठ बोल रहे हो, हम भी झूठ बोल के, चल खाना लगाओ, बोला बना के लगाओ. They don't go. And Shraddha weakens, because Shraddha is a thought in the mind. And any experience that comes, how many people, they lost their Shraddha on a Guru. How many people have left? Every Guru, many people have left. Therefore, Ramana Maharshi says, Yevam, thus, Shastrajanya Brahmatma Vishayaka Nischaya Jnanasya Aparyaptam Aparyaptim Upapadya. Therefore, Shastra Janita Janya Brahmatmaikya Vishayaka Nischaya Jnanam. That conformity, conviction that Brahma and Atma, Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikya, the oneness or identity between the Jiva and Paramatma, this identity which has been generated by inquiring into the study of by inquiring into the scriptural statements, aparyaptim upapadya, having declared that it is not enough for the complete eradication of samshaya and viparyaya, doubt and contrary knowledge, swa abhimatam nitidhyasanam nirupayati. Now Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi gives his own understanding and thought on nididhyasanam. So, that's why I always say, constantly producing thoughts, and you say it is meditation. At lower level, it's only to get some conviction. But Jivan Bharo, thought generating, I am Brahman, I am Jivatma, Paramatma, this is the Tattvamasi, Tattvaboda, Tattvapada, Lakshyartham, Vachyartham, Tampada, Lakshyartham, pa. Asipada, and then this is the thing, that is the thing. Therefore, Adhisthana Brahma is okay. This is Samanadikaran, oh, that is Papa, beautiful. But how long? Once you understood what is Vedanta, clarity you got, then transcend the thought, no? Drop it. I don't know. I want to revel there only and think that I am Brahman. Anubhava is not there. Think. So therefore, Ramana Maharshi says, this is not nididhyasana. So silence your mind. That's why Gurudev says that pole vault example. You may rise using a pole vault up to the net. But when you want to transcend the mind, net of mind called net, Maya, mind, whatever you call, you have to drop the pole vault. All your theory, knowledge, information, absolutely no use. It has in transcending that. All that you are holding on to that knowledge in the form of pole vault and gone to go beyond the net. Impossible. You have to drop this. And experience is totally different from what all you have studied. The very meaning of it itself changes. Everything, because it's a totally different, altogether experience is different. That's why I always said, the animal consciousness, human consciousness, the expansion of human consciousness. How much variation is there? How much variation? Animal, if awakens to its next level of potential, is human being, but totally different. An animal can never think about human existence, human calculation, human subjects, human understanding. Nothing. So, again and again I'm telling you, please don't take shelter under the false pride, ego. कुछ भी नहीं है. Only two states, Ajnana Avastha, realized Avastha. If you have realized, you know. Therefore, Ramana Maharshi, all Mahatma says experience. That's what he says. Now, what is it? Okay, Bhagavan, please tell me about your explanation on Nididhyasanam. Moolachchedastu vasishta swarupanubhave tayoho swarupe samstitis tasmat nididhyasanam uchyate. Moolachchedastu vasishta swarupanubhave tayoho swarupe samstitis tasmat nididhyasanam uchyate. Now a lot of description is there. Now see, let us go. This is very important. Now see, Vasishta Ganapati Muni, Vasishta, Tayoho, Samshaya Viparayayoho, Moolachchedaha. Cutting the root of these two. Root of Samshaya, root of contrary knowledge. That is, cut it in such a way, Punaha Anudbhavasadhakam Unmoolanam tu ityartaha. Cut it in that way with the root, uproot it, so that it will never ever again sprout. You cut the tree, the tree will again grow, roots are still there. Again you cut the tree, again the tree will come up. The roots are still there. Therefore, punaha anudbhavasadhakam unmoolanam tu ityartaha. So, such a way you remove the root, uproot it, so that there is no scope for samshaya and viparyaya. I am using Sanskrit words only. Every time I will not translate. Samshaya and viparyaya, there is no chance for them to erupt again. And that way, if you completely uproot them, then Swarupa Anubhave Bhavati iti Sheshaha. Only when these two are completely removed, uprooted, then you will abide in your own self as Atman or Brahman. Only then you will abide. Acha. Iti Shesha. Tasmat Swarupa Anubhavasya eva Sandeha Viparyasa Nivarakatve Pratipadyamane Swarupe Samstitihi Swatmanishta Nididhyasanam Uchyate. Tasmat Swarupa Anubhavasya eva Sandeha Viparyasa Nivarakatve Pratipadyamane. What is propounded here is, only when one is completely abiding in his own self, then alone the doubt and contrary perception will go completely, and that swatmanishta, self-abidance, not ego abidance, not abidance in your intellectual knowledge and conviction. That way crossed, no. not intellectual conviction. Abiding in intellectual conviction is due to Shraddha. Bhagavan said, if Shraddha cracks, entire building collapses. Not that. Swatmanishta nididhyasana muchyate natu shastrajanya nischaya buddhi. It is not that nischaya buddhi generated by the study of scriptures is not nididhyasanam. Bas. Ho gaya baat? Now, further analysis is there by the commentator. Now, the technical analysis. Now, listen. Here in this is, second line mein, Swarupe samstiti tasmat nididhyasana muchyate. When you abiding in oneself is called as nididhyasanam. Now there is a technical error in this. Error means not error, is apparent fault of contradiction. That's what author explains now. Atra samshaya. Now there is a doubt in this. I don't know how you will be able to understand. Swarupa sthitihi atmadarshanat na atirichyate. First point. Abiding in one's own self is not different from atmadarshanam. Number one. She is explaining. No doubt will come later on. Here is the context. So, abiding in one's own self, not ego. Let me be myself. Yeah, I have to be my. Yeah, that is not a useless ego statement. It is. Give me my space. Let me be myself. That is rooted in ego. It is as good as saying, I am rooted in ego. I will not melt. Don't disturb me. No. Swarupa sthitihi atmadarshanat na atirichyate. It is not different from atmadarshan, abiding in self. Nididhyasanam tu didrukshaiva na darshanam. Now see, what is nididhyasanam? Didhyasa. Nischayena didhyasa dhyatavyaha. Nischayena dhyatum ichcha iti nididhyasaha. So, in nididhyasana means what? A desire. Desire to get atmadarshan, or, I am going very slow, to gain self-abidance. Nididhyasanam is a desire to get self-abidance. Now, didrukshaya darshanam bhavati iti chet subodham. Now, okay, had it been said here by Ramana Maharshi, by nididhyasanam, practice of nididhyasanam, you will later on abide in your own self. Good. No dispute in understanding. First you practice nididhyasanam, jatumichcha, meditating, contemplating, jatumichcha, to gain abidance in self later on. So this is a desire and that is a result. So this is the means, that is the end. So if it is said, didrukshaya, meaning desire, didrukshu, a desire to see, vision, atmadarshanam. Didrukshaya, desire, darshanam bhavati iti chet, okay, subodham, no doubt. Didrukshaiva darshanam iti katam upapannam bhavati. Now it is said in the second one, didruksha eva darshanam. Desire itself is a vision. How is it possible? कान और आंख सब खोल के सुनिए. How is it possible? Understood question? Through nididhyasanam I practice. Eventually, as a result, I will abide in self. Clear. If it is said like that, okay. But Bhagavan said, Swarupe samsthiti tasmat nididhyasana. Therefore, it is called nididhyasanam. Why? Self-abidance is called nididhyasanam. How is it possible? Nididhyasanam is a desire. Swarupe samsthiti, the abiding in oneself is a result which will come later on. You say this nididhyasanam itself is swarupa sthiti. Katham upavannam? Because didrukshaiva darshanam iti. Means what? Desire itself is a vision. How is it possible? So what do we explain now? Tasmat nididhyasanam sadhanam nidhyanam siddhihi iti vaktavyam. Therefore, what it should be told? Nididhyasanam is means, sadhanam. Nidhyanam, abiding in that self, is the phalam, siddhihi, accomplishment. Iti vaktavyam. It has to be said like this. Here what is said? Swarupa samsthiti nididhyasanam. How is it possible? Tarhi, then, tasmin drushte paravare chidyante sarsamshyaha iti siddhau eva samshaya molacheda sambhavati. Upanishad says, no? What is that? Tasmin kshiyante cha asya karmani chidyante sarsamshayaha kshiyante cha asya karmani tasmin drushte paravare. Upanishad mantra. All the karmas are burnt, all doubts are cut asunder. When you see that paravare, para and avare, the one all-pervading consciousness, when you see, it is siddhau eva, samshaya molachya sambhavati. Only when this experience, this truth means, when all the doubts are removed, cuts asunder, and all karmas are exhausted, then the realization comes. Beautiful. That is the means, that is the end. Now Bhagavan says, nididhyasanam, what is that? Swarupe samsthitihi, therefore nididhyasanam. How is it possible? Nididhyasana means didrukshu dhyatum ichcha, dhyatum ichcha, a desire to meditate and eventually to know. How can desire be the vision? How can desire be the phalam? Katham sadhane nididhyasane samshaya molacheda upabhajyate. How sadhane nididhyasane? When you are in the still sadhana, how come that samshaya mola uchchedran takes place? When still the desire, not attained siddhi yet. Only after realization, no? Ramana Maharshi said, samshayam and viparya jnanam will go. Now, while you are traveling, when you are still desiring and practicing, how can these two be removed? Katam sadhane nididhyasane samshaya mulachcheda upapajyate nacha swarupa anubhave samshayachcheda uktaha. Here, it is said nididhyasana karo, nididhyasana is swarupa samsthiti, and therefore, here swarupa samsthiti, after realizing the samshaya nivritti takes place, it's not like that. He says nididhyasana is a swarupa sthiti is nididhyasanam and nididhyasanam is swarupa sthiti will remove all that. So nididhyasanam is swarupa, दोनों को एक के बना दिया. So nididhyasanat hi tat siddhyati iti yuktam. What is proper is to say nididhyasana dwara, by practicing nididhyasana. What is dhyatamichya? Contemplation, meditation. There is no doubt. Samshaya nivritti is done already in Mananam. Through this alone, you attain the truth, self-abidance takes place. That's how it should be. Tasmat katham ayam nidhyana nididhyasanayoho abheda adhyavasayo vachyaha. How can you say there is no difference between nididhyasana and nidhyana, or reaching the destination, abiding in the self? How can these two become non-different? It is as good as saying that, that they say, when you know the truth, you will transcend Maya. So when will I know the truth? You transcend Maya. अच्छा, माया को पार करने के बाद भगवान का अनुभव होगा. बहुत बढ़िया है. माया को कब पार करेंगे? भगवान का अनुभव करने के बाद माया पार करोगे. Like that, no? Nididhyasanam and means and the end. How can you say these two are non-differentiated? Swarupe samsiti nididhya tasma nididhyasanam uchyate. Abiding in self is nididhyasanam. How is it possible? Atra brumaha. Now we will explain. Why? Because Didrukshayam jatayam sadyo darshanam bhavati. This is the classic line. When the desire to know or to see, inverted commas, to see, to have vision, or to know, or to have darshan, atma darshan, desire, the moment the desire is born, instantly you will know the truth. That is the statement. Didrukshayam jatayam sadyo darshanam. Immediate. Sadyo means immediately darshanam bhavati. तो हमको तो नहीं हो रहा है भाई. इक्वेशन बराबर है. Desire, if you desire, immediately you realize the truth. इसके बाद व्याख्या करेंगे. क्योंकि प्रतिबंधक अभावात, because there is no obstacle between the desire and knowing or seeing or having the vision of self. No obstacle. सब झूठ झूठ बोल रहे हैं. I also have desire to realize the truth, but I face many obstacles. यहाँ पे कह रहे हैं, the moment you get the desire to see the truth, to have the vision of Atma, immediately you will know the desire, immediately you will know the truth, because there are no obstacles. Sakshat kriyamanasya vastunaha atmaswarupatvena nitya siddhatvat. Now, here the object of desire, Sakshat kriyamanasya vastunaha, that object what you want to realize is your own self, and it is already available. Nitya siddhatvat. Explanation pura nahi hua. It is already available. That means what? Between a desire and realizing an object what we want, there is a gap. That's what it says. Loketu drashtu drushyayoho darshana darshanechayoscha deshataha kalatahascha antaram vartate. Here in this world, between a desire and an object what you want to fulfill, either seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, hearing, between the desire and the object what you want to experience through eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, there is a distance between them in terms of time and place. That object which we have to realize in this world is far away removed. There is a gap between time gap, place, right? Both deshataha, kalataha, with respect to time and place, the object what we wanted to get in this world is kept at a distance. Okay? Now, Swarupa Vishaye Atma eva drashta, Atma eva darshana Vishaya. Who is realizing I am my own self? I want to know myself. So who is a drashta here? Atma. Drushya, Atma. So the desirer and the desired, knower and the known, what he wants to know, both are not different. There is no gap with respect to time nor space. So, drashta drushyayoho abhedah. This is what Jiddu Krishnamurti has tried to explain many times. The observer and the observed are one. Anyway, that is a beautiful analysis. Here we stick to this coin. Swarupa Vishaye Atma eva drashta. Who is the seer? Me, the Atma. Darshana Vishayam Atma. So Atma eva darshana vruttihi drushtischa bhavati. The thought to see, Atma eva drushvrutti. The means everything is you alone. So I want to see myself. There are no two. So all is you. Therefore, tasmat yada vastutaha purushasya atmakamata sputha bhavati tada sadya eva atmasiddhi bhavati iti atmani nidhyasanayoho antaram na upapadyate iti tatparyam. Therefore, Ramana Maharshi said, Swarupe avasthiti is nididhyasanam. अब हमारा क्या था? निधिध्यासन में आत्मा मुझसे अलग है, ध्यान करो. Absolute. That's why Ramana Maharshi. He says, therefore, tasmat, therefore, yada, when, vastutaha purushasya atmakamata sputha bhavati. This is the underline. When your desire is clear, sputha, crystal clear, unadulterated, pure desire. What do you mean? Do you think that our desire is not pure and unadulterated? If it is unadulterated, you will not be here. Nor I will be here. Janjat. Therefore, our desire is corrupted, adulterated, impure. And in our desire, there is a exclusivity, seclusion, and a deep, I can tell 1,000 times deep, glamour in it. Please think on this. Therefore, our desire is corrupted. Sputha bhavati, clear. Superficial meaning means I want that and that alone. A state will come. And that cannot come to us because our every desire which is produced in a bowl called antakarana, cooked, which is already polluted. बर्तन साफ किए बिना दूध गर्म किया तो दूध को क्या होता है? But the desire itself is coming from the mind. So whatever you produce, it is already tainted, polluted. So the desire itself is not pure. If it is pure, how can you say it is not pure? If it is pure, you will realize the truth instantly. That's what is it. Didrukshayam jatayam sadyo darshanam bhavati. So, plus there is other disease, exclusivity, seclusion, some complexes involved in the desire. Because I want to get moksha, keeping my ego intact. I want to keep my ego intact. Then know the truth. In all of us, there are some areas. Marmasthana, critical areas of the mind. If anybody touches that poisonous snake hood, its hood rises. What is that? Ego. I am goody with you all. But if you press that nerve, not physical, there the ego is hidden. Even if you go to jungle, I want to meditate alone and realize the truth. This thought itself is an obstacle. Go there. मैं सबको छोड़कर बैठा हूं अकेला. I don't want to. So that thought towards society and the world is the biggest obstacle. So I go to hotel. No harm in eating what I want. But I criticize people who are eating other items or how they eat. And you feel that you are a special intelligent person in the hotel. You have ordered some dish which is popular in that hotel. You know how to eat. You know how to prioritize the items to be eaten. With this thought you eat. Similarly, I want to withdraw from the world. Stay alone. This world is horrible. Paramatma, I want. Your dislike towards the world takes you away from the world, and you call it as a detachment and solitude. That desire itself is corrupted. Because that desire is influenced by, tainted by distaste, dislike. I don't know, I'm able to communicate or not. Very tough. Therefore, it is corrupted. Withdraw. But not due to dislike or distaste or with a complaint with the world. I don't want to work in Chinmaya Mission. You need not work for Chinmaya Mission. But that associated with a dislike, distaste. A Chinmaya Mission example I gave. I don't want to be in the family. I will be alone. You go out. No problem. You have every right to be independent. But that independent thought has come out due to dislike and hatred towards family members. I don't know, very deep it is. Therefore, our desire is not pure. And one sentence I made earlier, exclusivity, seclusion, glamour. You have to think about it. So therefore, Swarupa Vishaya, Tasmat Yada Vastutah Purushasya Atmakamataya Spatava Tada Sadyayeva, immediately Mukyeva Atma Siddhi Bhavati iti Atmani Nididhyasana Nidhyanayoho Antaram Navapadyate iti Tatparyam. Why? Because the desirer is me, the object of desire is me, and the desire is pure. So pure desire escapes untainted by any other thoughts in the mind. But now our desires arise, it is tainted, painted. Its shape, size, color, intensity, dimension, everything changes by the time it comes to surface. कुछ लोग बोलते हैं स्वामी जी सन्यास बनने से मजा आएगा, कोई जिम्मेदारी नहीं होती है. दैट इज रॉन्ग थॉट. सन्यास बना तो बनो, बट no responsibility will be there, happy, I will be irresponsible. That thought is not correct. Therefore, people are unable to understand meditation, realization. नहीं हो पाता इसलिए कि our desire itself is distaste. Some person, some brahmachari, not mission, but anyway, somebody. गृहस्थी लोग समझते नहीं है. भाई लोग समझ नहीं पा रहे हैं, दैट्स ओके. एक गृहस्थी लोग समझते नहीं है. Therefore I became brahmachari. Hence I am intelligent. All these are included in that. अब कहाँ the desire. So desire to become brahmachari or Swami is also corrupted. You renounce for know the truth. Therefore, Satyeva okay. Evam Lakshanasya Nididhyanasya Labhaya Eva Shubham Karma Satshastra Vicharaha Vairagyam Ityadini Sadhanataya Shastrani Upadishanti. In order to get this uncontaminated, untainted, pure, crystal clear desire, to create that alone, Evam Lakshanasya Nididhyanasya Labhaya Eva. You only to get Nididhyasana of this type. Shubham karma, good actions, karma, Shubha karma karo, Tat Shastra Vicharaha, inquiry into scriptures, Vairagyam, dispassion, Ityadini, Sadhanataya. All these are all taught as a means to get into Nididhyasana of this understanding. Sadhanataya Shastrani Upadishanti. This is Nididhyasana. हो गया? Bahihi sancharatastata swarupe samsthitim vina aparoksho bhaved bodho nashastrashyata charchaya. Bahis sancharatastata swarupe samsthitim vina aparoksho bhaved bodho nashastrashyata charchaya. Swarupe samsthitim vina, without abiding oneself in one's own self, bahisancharataha, mind which is externally wandering, extroverted, aparoksho bodhaha, shastrasata charchaya na bhavati, it is spashtam. One's mind is extroverted mind. Swarupe samsthitihi, abiding in one's own self, na bhavati. Aparoksha bodha na bhavati. Shastra shata charchaya. By studying, discussing, fighting, analyzing hundreds of scriptures. You will not get into that aparoksha anubhuti. Bahirmukhi manako. Shatashaha shastra vichare kurte api antara antar anavritta chakshushaha. Avrtane, anavritta. One whose indriyas, mind, intellect are not introverted. Shatashaha shastra, hundreds of scriptures you have studied. Like our Guruji says, Pandityam dosha darshanam. Or not for our religion. Or tasmad sabodho na bhavet. Tasmad vastavikam nididhyasanam shastrajanya nissandehata rupat nididhyasanat anyat iti siddham. That nididhyasana conviction which is a result of the inquiry into the scriptural statements is different from the real nididhyasanam. Vastavikam nididhyasanam is different. Real nididhyasana is different from this kind of nididhyasana. Okay? Swarupa samsthiti syat chet sahaja kundinarshava samukti saparanishta sasakshatkara iritaha. Swarupa samsthiti syat chet sahaja kundinarshava samukti saparanishta sasakshatkara iritaha. Therefore, a kundinarshava meaning kaundanya iti sambodhanam. Kundini means one who is born in Kaundinyasa Gotra. Udbhava Swarupa Samsthitihi Swarupa Nishta Sahajasyat Chet. So, abiding in one's own self, Swarupa Samsthitihi Sahajas becomes natural. Like it's very natural for us to consider ourselves as body. I am the body, very natural. But contrary knowledge, viparjaya anubhav. See? But sahaja, natural abidance. This is me, that's it. Not a thought, not conviction. Sa muktihi, that is mukti. Sa paranishtha, that is supreme abidance. Sa sakshatkaraha, that is realization. How? Shashvita vadayan. Shashvita vadayatna siddha. Shashvita vadayatna siddha. Swashitavat ayatna siddha. Swashitavat ayatna siddha. Meaning, like a person who is breathing effortlessly. Swashitavat ayatna siddha bhavet chet sa muktihi. If it becomes as natural as breathing, without any effort. So, effortlessly breathing, just as a person effortlessly breathes, as effortless as breathing, if he becomes, his self-abidance becomes as natural, as easy, as effortless, that alone is mukti, that alone is realization, that alone is supreme abidance, that alone is Atma Darshanam. Anyat Spashtam. Everything is clear. Thus, we have completed Shravana, Manana, Vidhyasana. What is it? From the perspective of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's experience. Spashtam. Om Purnamadah, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Arihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Arihi Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.